checking back in with Wade's coupe. Still trying to chip away at this thing. We've been crazy busy, so been jumping back and forth, helping Jane and Dylan on different projects. Dylan's working on headers for Lance's SN car, but I've been trying to work on this thing most of the week, and this weekend we've got a good bit of work done, so I figure I'd kind of show you where we're at and kind of what's left to do, kind of what the process is of trying to get this back together. And it's a lot of work and it's time consuming, so let me flip it around and I'll kind of show you what we got. Alright, so let's see, so we got transmission in this weekend, just a Rosser 400, which we'd already built all this stuff. So we got the enclosure. This one is just this is a chrome moly enclosure. We didn't do titanium or anything on this one. This is the beauty of, I love powder coat. It looks so good, but it's such a pain in the butt when you get one back from powder coat. All this prep, we probably got a friggin' hour of making all this fit back together. I mean, this is all built and 100% mocked up, come in and out just fine. But and they do a good job. People try to do a good job of taping everything off, but it's just like these are slip joints down here, spuds where it's just drilled, and you got a pin. So you got a, this is female, and then there's a smaller piece that's in there, that's a male. Well, they tape that off, obviously, but even just taping it off, it's like it rolled in there. And then, so obviously you got to drill out your holes, you know, up here, you got to drill out those just so those will go through. Well, then these weren't going down far enough, and I think the heat probably affects it as well, but the powder coat, there was a little bit of powder coat to roll the edges, so we had to basically take a razor and cut the edge just to make sure those would go down all the way. And then you get a little bit in your holes, and as you can see here, you're not going to be able to drill that, so we're over here using files and die grinders and different things to try to just clearance the powder out of them enough to where the pins will all go through and everything. And obviously it'll get easier to go back in as we go, but it's just, that's the stuff people don't think about as far as it just burns up time when reassembling these cars. Is just prepping from powder coat and prepping for this or prepping for that. I mean, we still got a good bit more to do, but that's the little stuff that just eats up time. But anyway, we're getting there. So like I've been today, let me go, well, I'll show you this now. Today I've been working on the fire system. So we got a couple nozzles on the firewall. Yeah, we put our puke tank's on in the back, so we'll put bulkheads in for that. But yeah, so we got 2 fire nozzles here, and then I got 2, probably hard to see, but I got one here and one here. These kind of spray towards the driver's feet. They kind of plumb that, or just fog that area. But so I plumbed all of those. So I did all that first, so you can kind of see there's a nozzle here with a T. So I split that one up. Comes across, we got another T here, goes to that one. Got another T there. That goes all the way across the firewall to get the other one on the firewall, and then this one splits off and comes to our other nozzle here. Try to do them nice and tight. Still got to put P-clamps on everything. This will get P-clamped up to that tube. Just everything will be nice and neat. Actually working on that now, getting the P-clamps on all that stuff. Pretty much the fire system's done, besides just getting the P-clamps on there. Let's see. But if you notice, you're like, what is this black line? I'll show you. This is actually pretty cool. I think Devin showed me this stuff. Most of these, let's see, these fire system kits come with this generic aluminum hardline, which is 5/16. There's nothing wrong with it, but you get people that are kind of crazy anal, wanting everything to be black or this, that, and the other. We found these rolls. This one's it's actually got crash tape on it, so it's covered up, but I'll show you one of the pieces we've already straightened. But it's actually pretty nice. It's got a shiny black finish on it, and it's from Racetronics. It looks really good. But yeah, so the fire bottle's in the back of this car. So it actually, that was our first nozzle I showed you there. Now it comes So we got to get all this stuff P-clamped over. I got it coming down the seal. Goes up right here. Let me work my way around. We got crap everywhere right now. Parts, boxes, everything, everywhere, taking over the shop. You can kind of see we got a bulkhead here, and then it runs up nice and tight along the outer tub. You can't even see it, but I still got a peek, and it'll come around here, and then you see our bottle right there. Yeah, I got to get all that stuff P-clamped up. We're almost done in the bag. That was the main thing. The only thing I'm working on now is I got to get my parachute stuff figured out and mounted. Got a couple little piece receivers that will get bolted on and riveted onto here. I got to take the tail lights off to do that, so that's the only reason I hadn't strapped all this stuff back in, just so I can make sure I can get to everything first. So I'm about to do that. As soon as we get done with the P-clamps, I'm going to wrap this stuff up. That way I can get the parachutes on, or the parachute bag holder, and then the parachutes mounted onto them, and get the puke tank dropped in, and then that'll be 100% wrap on the back. The wing and everything's already been mounted, it's just out of the way. Got most of the body panels in the trailer, so stuff doesn't get scratched up or messed up as we're working. Let's see. To give you guys a good look. So Wade wanted carbon tube protectors on as much as we can. So I kind of, anything that's kind of a high pass-through area or high likelihood of getting touched, I tried to get tube protectors. I got a couple more spots I got to do on that, but we did them out here as well, down the front. Just little accents, just little stuff that really helps make these cars look really good, but just burns up time in the process. But yeah, so after that, after we get the wrap up the fire system lines and I'm wrap up the back, I'm gonna go ahead and do the brake lines. There's gonna be one, we'll have a bulkhead that's gonna be in here, and one up there to where our line's gonna come through the car. And once I get that done, then pretty much everything can go in the car. I've been waiting to I'm gonna get all the electronics mounted, all that. So I want to try to have this thing as pretty, it's not gonna be 100% ready, because I'm sure I'll miss stuff, and Devin will get it on his end, but I'm trying to do as much as I can to make sure everything is done to the best of our ability before it goes to Devin. That way he has a good in and out process with this car. Still opening up boxes, finding new parts. I know stuff I'm missing right now. I got another thing I got to finish where powder coats thing got tight. This thing's so tight, I got to get my pins or bolts to that. I can't remember what we had in there. That's the other thing, is when you've had stuff apart for a while. I mean, we bag and tag everything as much as we can, but just then it all gets piled into boxes, so it kind of can be a bit cumbersome when you start taking everything back out. Like I said, I'm still going through boxes, seeing what everything is, but just figured I'd give you guys a little update on this. Oh yeah, also all the carbon is in the back. I think I was working on that the last time. We had most of it mocked up, but I got the tubs are all panel bonded in. Can't really see. I'll go to the back. Everything's got all its fasteners in there. All that's fastened in. Nice and smooth panel bond seam. Got all the bottom panels in. So only panel we don't have is the center one that I have, just so I can get to the bolt for the receiver of the parachute. That's the only carbon panel that's not been put in it in the back. And then once we wrap up all our lines on the other side, we'll put our panels on the outside of the doors. Over there we've already fit. So she is coming along. Hopefully I'll check back in here probably tomorrow, see how far we've got. Try to wrap up these last few little things on these systems and move on to the next, trying to check off this list as we go. We find stuff constantly, but that's the other thing. So it's hardware. Like, we had tons of hardware and just trying to make stuff match. I mean, I got a big order in yesterday of different hardware we're going to replace to make everything match. Got a bunch of ARP 12-point stuff. Got seat belts in, 2 brake lines, starter shims. I was missing some starter shims, so I had to get a couple more of those. So or not starter shims, converter shims. Get our correct converter spacing. But yeah, she is coming along. I will check back in soon, and as soon as we get a little bit more done, and show you where we're at. Oh, another little check-in on Wade's car. Been kind of bouncing around on this thing. Me and Shane both working on it some past few days. It's a nice cold Saturday. So I just got here a little while ago. I'm about to clean up this disaster I got here first. When I figured I'd do a little check-in, just parts and bags and everything coming out as a lot of stuff we'll keep the boxes for just because it's got other little parts connectors. So we got totes that had all these parts in there, so we've been slowly getting parts out and totes out and trying to get everything in their place. We've got a good bit on it. It's one of those things, like, we've worked on this thing, we've got probably another 20 hours in it between me and Shane since that last video. And you can honestly, it's hard to even tell what's been done sometimes when you get to these points in the car, because it just ends up being little stuff that eats up time. I'd finished up the fire system, and we just had to P-clamp it. We got it all P-clamped now. We went ahead and worked our brake line that goes in the car. Bulkheads out, got panels in. Pretty much everything is in the driver's compartment area. I'm gonna go ahead and put the seat belts in next, and then I'm gonna probably go ahead and get the seat in. Because there's really nothing that's gonna be in the way of it, because most stuff will be wiring wise around it. I don't see it being a problem being in Devin's way with the seat in it, so I'm gonna go ahead and get all that in there. Really gonna try to concentrate probably today on getting the rest of the inside stuff done. So seat belt, seat, get all that in, and then I'm gonna start doing the electronics, getting all that stuff in. I gotta try to remember I hope I got some pictures of this, because it's been apart for a while. So it's got some stack mounts, and got some motion mounts. It's nothing crazy on this one. We didn't do a crazy in-depth rack or anything. We just tried to spread it out as much as possible. This one's got a dash that covers it up, so we had to make sure it cleared with the dash and everything in the car. Obviously it's got a little Pro dash. I think it's just got the little 6.8 Pro. And then we got all your usual Holley suspects, Dominator, drivers, what else, MSD Pro 600 box. I think this one's getting a PDM 28. So I got to get all that, get all that. So that's what some of those boxes are on the table there, is some of the electronics. I'm gonna start getting all that out. I got the coils out. I mounted those the other day. Just got some Maven bar clamps, which I like. The Maven stuff's really nice. He makes them in a few different sizes. I think 1 1/4 was the smallest. I kind of would have rather put them here, but they were 1 inch. This is a 1 inch bar, so this actually works out good. Gets weight back. Devin didn't have a problem with it being mounted there. He was good with it, so we got both of those on. We did go ahead and get some springs on this thing the other day, because this thing's just been sitting on some bumps, some tube bumps we had. So we got shocks and struts on the front. I got the limiters on the front. Or I mean, got the struts and springs rather. The front is really close to being done. We have to put our downpipes on, which are already built, but we're going to put some cross bolts in them, so we need to get all that mounted back up. That's really the biggest thing left up here, is getting the downpipes on with the wastegates on, because they recirculate into the downpipes. Once we get that done, the only other thing that's kind of an inside outside is getting the throttle cable done, hooked up to the pedal. And then we'll be in the home stretch back here, or up here rather. The back though, we got it pretty much wrapped up, I believe. I just got to change some bolts around. Guess we'll walk in. All right, anyway, so yeah, we pretty much got all of the back wrapped up. So I got all our parachute stuff. We'd already built all this, and it's all nickel plated. Simpson chutes, air launchers. Just got to get them hooked up. Get all our lanyards hooked up. So we got all that stuff. Our little receiver grooves bolted on. Our tank is in and down. This tank is in and down. Yeah, this is the last thing here, is the cable that came with the fire system. It's only like a 6-footer. It's a little short, so to make it route and look decent, I ordered a longer one, so I'm waiting on that to get here, because we'll run it down the tubes and P-clamp it and make it look clean. like right here, it would have to basically go straight, and it like looks ridiculous. So we're not going to do that. We'll make it look nice. But yeah, she's pretty much a wrap back here, besides getting that new cable as soon as it gets in here. That's the thing, like you don't see it until you start getting all this stuff together for final fit, and then you kind of order it as you go. And just, I'm ordering multiple times a day for this thing, just hardware or this or that. And that's kind of where you lose a ton of time, just wrapping up all the little stuff. But we are getting there. As long as everything shows up this week, we should have it wrapped up. He had a bolt on CO2 bottle, which I don't really love there. I'm probably going to try to move it down to this flat edge. We'll have to take this carbon panel back out and notch so it can fit around. I just don't, it sitting there angled kind of bothers me. I mean, it's not bad, but I don't love it. What else? This was the little catch can that come with the riser. It's actually pretty neat. These things come with a bracket that bolts onto the back of the tail housing, and this bolts to it. But just with the way the double frame rail was, it was barely going to touch. We just put 2 tabs on the side of the double, and it's not hard to take off. Obviously, you just got a couple push to connects if you need to take it out. Does it pretty quick. There's really, besides getting this, getting all our electronics in here, well, there's not a whole lot left. I need to do the carbon panels on the doors over there, on the door bars over there. Now that we got everything else in there, once I get the seat in, I'll probably go ahead and do those. I don't want to jump the gun too soon, and it'd be a pain in the butt getting the seat in. I'll look at that shortly. As long as I can get to all that, I'll go ahead and get those in, and then she really will be a wrap on the inside, and our list is slowly getting shorter. Still got to put the shocks on the back. I got springs here, so I'll probably try to get that done today, get it suspended. And then most of the weight will be in this thing, so I can actually try to work on getting a ride height set with the actual shocks and struts and springs. Make sure the springs I got are going to be what I want them to be. How to get this thing on the scales. I'm kind of curious to see what it's going to weigh all together, minus the driver. I'll pretty much, it'll be, whenever I weigh it, it'll be everything minus fluids and wiring. I'm going to have, I think everything else will be in the car. That's make it 100% ready to go. Converters in there, drive shafts in the car, third members in the car. I mean, we'll have all the electronics in the car. Everything will be, it'll be pretty much 100% minus going to Devon and getting wired and getting fluids in it and fired up. So I'm actually kind of curious what you guys think this thing will weigh. Stock front suspension, what I'd call a 3/4 chassis. It's a real nice one, big block. It's a Brodix block. It's aluminum block, aluminum head, Brodix stuff. These things are still heavy though. Twin turbo, chrome moly 25.2. Got sheet metal in it. It's not all carbon. I mean, it could be lighter here and there, but overall, I think this thing's going to be pretty light. What you guys think it'll end up weighing? Hopefully, I will have a weight on this one. She's almost done, so hopefully next week I'll get us another weight on it when we do the next video. So anybody guess a weight on it, or the closest person, I'll send y'all a shirt. I know I got that promise out there for spare parts, but we hadn't got that far along with it yet. This one will be coming pretty soon. So give me your best guesstimate on this thing. Like I said, it's fiberglass doors, carbon front end, carbon hood, carbon deck lid and wing. It's a floater housing, so she's pretty heavy. I don't know, I'm on the fence. I think she's going to be, without a driver in it, 2300-ish, maybe a little lighter, but that'll be my guess. But we'll see what you guys think. But let me get this mess cleaned up, and I will try to get a little bit more progress done on this thing and check back in. Oh, I got a little bit more done. We're gonna do a little check-in. So we got some belts came in. We got them bolted in. Got the seat slid into its place. Actually had to order some more bolts for the seat, so I'm kind of we started putting these panels in, but left this one out just so I can change the bolts to the correct bolts. These are M8s on this Race Tech seat, so I didn't have the right length in stock. So I got those ordered. They should be here today. I ordered stuff a couple days ago. I'm waiting on a bunch of little parts to show up today to really kind of hopefully wrap this thing up for the most part today. Still have a few little things to do with the body once that all goes on, but as far as all this, so we got all our pedal stuff in, panels in, got the little dash in. It's just a little 6.8 Pro dash. Trying to get the electronics mocked up. I got to get the dash out of the car because this does have a factory style fiberglass dash, so we can make sure all that'll fit. We'll walk to the other side, but getting there. Kind of got a little setback. So I got the fire. I ended up mounting the CO2 down here. I was able to make that work and be out of the way, and it'll actually work out better for plumbing for Devin to, because there'll be some stuff going to the back for the chutes, obviously stuff coming to here for the shifter, and then obviously wherever boost control solenoids end up. So that's actually a good spot for all that. But yeah, you can see we got, so we didn't do no crazy mounts on this deal. We actually used some motion mounts, so this stuff can all move around and shift. I really don't remember exactly how it went. It's all been mocked up 100% with the dash, so I know it all fits. We use our mock-ups when we did all that, so I got to get the dash out of the trailer and double check that and get all this stuff locked down in its correct spot. But yes, that's the Holley Dominator. Got a PDM 28, Pro 600 coils, and then you can't see them, but under the bottom, in between these two on the bottom side, we'll have our injector driver and our EGT module. Besides that, it's just be a couple little things. The cool part I get to do here shortly is, yeah, you see we put the transmission in, already mentioned that. Transmission, got the drive shaft enclosure in, got the drive shaft in. We were putting the converter bolts in the other day. I think I picked up a ATI flex plate for it. I think I just went to Scott and picked it up. Well, the converter has 6 bolts. You have a narrow pattern and a little bit wider pattern. Well, this converter's got every other. So it's got 3 and 3. 3 of the wide, 3 of the narrow, and this flex plate's only got 1 of the other. So I had to order another flex plate. So that means I get to rip all this back out, get the transmission enclosure, drive shaft all back out, change the flex plates. I bought a Mazir billet deal to go on it instead. So we're going to pull that out shortly. So I'm waiting on ATEC to run, or UPS to run rather, with some of my ATEC parts, and get to pull all that out and shove it back in. So I'll be doing that shortly. Got our parachute mount bolted in. It's a motion deal. Missing one of my cables, so I ordered another cable. That should be here today, and then once that'll be the last thing of that. I got the new Lifeline parachute, or not parachute, but fire bottle or fire release handle. It actually had a pretty nice one that's got a billet aluminum piece with a locking, so you can actually pin that when you're not running the car. We'll put a little pin on that deal, so it's easy, like a little flag and a pin, so you know to remove it before it passes. The other one doesn't have anything for a lock, and since I needed to get the longer one rather, I saw that one and grabbed it instead. But she is slowly getting there, so I'm about to get busy ripping all this stuff back out so I can be ready for the flex plate when it shows up. After that, we'll be putting body panels back on it. Well, we still got to tweak the exhaust with the which I got to get the front end out of the trailer to do that, but that is coming up. Doing the last little push on Wade's, which is still not exactly done, but it's going to go to Devin's. He's got a good opening right now to get it in and start the plumbing and wiring, and we got a few things we're going to have to do after the fact, but nothing major. We'll end up doing another video after that, but figured I'd just do one little last walk around as the guys are trying to wrap up a few little things before they put it in the box. Got to get a bigger Morse cable. That one's a little bit too short to wrap around and lay the way we want to, but it'll work for now just to get it in the make sure everything functions correctly. She's looking pretty sweet. I'm super excited to see this thing plumbed and wired. And when it comes back to wrap up a few little things, she'll be running. Trimming the carbon door panels for the door limit strap so the doors don't just swing open. And get all that stuff trimmed and fitting back on, and then get the doors bolted on and the front end back on. Ride height's not exactly there, it's close, but we got to tweak on it. These springs will probably settle a little bit, so just gonna wait on that first, and once it comes back we'll do a setup on the car, get everything dialed in where it needs to be. So she'll be gone here shortly.